What's up? What's up, peoples? Welcome to another episode of Trap No More podcast. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Sunday evening. I know there's a lot of things you guys could be doing, but you guys have taken the time out to support the platform, and I appreciate that. That's letting me know that you've been impressed with, prior guests, and you're excited about today's guest, and you should be. On purpose, right?
On purpose.
Today, though, man, I got something I got a beautiful story for you today. Let me tell you, you're not going to be disappointed. You know what? Right now, the next minute as I'm talking, get your popcorn, get your soda, whatnot, and just post up, right? Because I don't want you to miss none of it. But if you haven't already hit the subscribe, the like, and the notification button, do that right now. All right? Don't wait. Do it right now. All right. I see you. Thank you. Anyways, man, happy new year. I know I've been saying it all week, man. Happy 2025. I'm believing that this year is going to be a prosperous year for us. I pray that this year is just going to be a year of miracles and just, man, new things being birthed into your life. For all of you that you just been planning to do something big, man, I pray that this is the year that it takes off, that it just reaches its potential and what you want it to do, man. And man, I'm excited. There's a lot of things going on here behind the scenes at Trap No More, at Trap Families. Man, this year we got a lot in store right now. It's already been busy just planning stuff for the upcoming months. Man, I am excited because there's a lot of people that are just jumping on, man, and wanting to help, man. So, I ain't going to turn down no help. They got, some ideas and stuff. And I'm like, man, that's a great idea. Heck yeah. So anyways, just stay tuned, stay posted. Like I said, hit that subscribe. Appreciate it. So without further ado, man, we are going to jump right into tonight's guest. This guest right here holds a special place in my heart because he's my brother. And I know you guys have heard me talk about the Walden House, Health Right 360, and how it literally transformed my life and the outcome and the trajectory of my transition when coming home from prison. And this brother right here, man, I mean, he's one of the ones that is still there, doing a reckoning, man, in the recovery field. And this brother's all over the place, man. He's all over the place, helping out all kinds of different people, helping all kinds of different agencies. This brother, I mean, he's like the Energizer Rabbit, because I mean, he works graveyard, he works swing shift, he works morning. I'm like, man, what shift do you go to sleep? But the brother's like, you know what? I'll rest when I die. Right, he said, there's too much. There's too much time to get busy with, right?
That's right.
So anyways, without any further ado, let me introduce you to my brother, Chris Garcia.
Yeah. Well, let me take that. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate this platform, right?
Yeah.
And allowing me to come on here and share some resources, share the little experience, share some of what's happening now out here with the population we serve, right?
Yeah.
And but really quick, you do a lot of this, right? You have a lot of people sitting in this chair, right? And I watch these things, right? So I just want to take a little minute, if you don't mind, just to acknowledge you. I mean, you as an individual. I've known you for a long time. I remember you coming into Corcoran with your family, right? And I was sitting there and I was looking, man, and I guess that was the first day that I could say that, you know what, I admire this guy. Your heart, your dedication, your passion, the your ability to pass the message about our Father from above, man. You're able to do that, and you live it, and you lead by example. There's a lot of people, that sometimes you look right, but there's never one time that I've looked at you and I haven't stopped admiring you. So I just want to let you know that, and I don't want this to sound like sissy la or nothing, but listen, man, you're a good man. You're a family man. You're beautiful wife, beautiful family, beautiful kids, right? Bruno outside, right? So you got a lot of things going that when people see that, if nobody's told you, you know what, they may be hating on the inside, but I just want to let you know that, uh, man, I admire you and I appreciate you for everything that you do.
I appreciate that, Chris. Big
Mhm.
time, bro.
Mhm.
Big time. And I'll tell you right now, we're blessed. So you can't see him, but I got another brother in the house right now, Mr. Joey. Uh, man, Cabral. I don't know why I almost called you Carrillo, man, but brother Joey Cabral, who is a former lifer too, he's here in the house. We might be able to, sneak some time on and just get a little quick intro before we get him on for his whole story. Because trust me, these dudes are heavy hitters with many years under their belt. So we can't just squeeze that all in an hour for sure. For sure. Watch. You'll trust me. By the time we start rolling, you're gonna be like, wow, it's been 2 hours. I'll be like, yeah, 2 hours,
Yeah,
right?
and like I invited Joey, right?
Uh-huh.
Because Joey's been a big part of where I'm at today, leading to where I'm at today, right? A very big part, and very instrumental in my recovery and this new way of life that I live, the way I live
Yeah.
today, and it all has to do with integrity, man.
Yeah.
And once again, he showed me that he leads by example, and like I say, he's my mentor. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? He's a good brother, man.
And in your words, he's not with the funny business.
Oh no,
Joey's not with
Joey
the
not with
funny
the funny
business.
boy.
and,
And
and when I think about it, he kind of, I don't remember in Corcoran, to tell you the truth. I have butterflies going back
yeah,
in there. So I really don't remember anything about that day. But I remember the first time I spoke to you, I was on Grand, and this is when Joey came home, and you called and you were like, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of Joey. I know he's there. And I said the famous line,
yeah,
I can't confirm
firm
or
or
deny
deny.
that he is here. I knew he
Yeah,
was there
yeah,
though, and
yeah,
you knew he was there,
yeah.
but I had to do protocol, right?
Mm-hmm,
But as soon as I hung up, I said, you know what, Joey, hey, call him back,
mm-hmm,
called and wants to talk to
yeah,
you. And from that point on, it was just a couple believe it, a couple more weeks later, and I
yeah,
found you in the pro. I was like,
yeah,
whoa, what's going
yeah,
on here?
yeah, yeah,
But it's all good stuff though.
yeah.
So, anyways, so we'll catch up to that because that was, it seemed like a long time ago, but
It
for
was.
for our audience, so brother, to lay
Mm-hmm,
the platform on who
mm-hmm.
you are, where you come from, and what it was like in younger Chris's home and his environment growing up. If you don't mind, just tell us about the
For
younger
sure.
Chris
Yeah,
and what it
yeah.
was like growing up in Chris's home.
Yeah, you know what, and like we say, well, like I say, you know what I mean? Sometimes we got to take a peek into our past just so that we don't sneak into our future, right? So sometimes I look back at those times, what I do remember, right? Because old Dolphin, you know what I mean? So I lost a lot of memory cells, I guess. But anyways, the thing is, right? Going back, I lived on. I was grown. I grew up in the quiet side of Whittier, West Whittier, and born and raised there. My mother, my father, my four other brothers, and a sister. We all lived in a home, right? But in that home, we also had family members, which was my aunt and her two daughters, which we're like brothers and sisters, right? So they grew up. So we grew up kind of tight knit, always watching each other's back and stuff like that. So any problems that we had a good support system. I mean, we had a good support system. Growing up, my earliest memories, right, uh, is when I felt a little different. You know what I mean? I just felt a little different. Uh, Trying to find what everything was about, right? Life, I guess, right? Because these were early memories, right? But I knew that I felt different. I always felt different, uh, that I didn't belong, right? And it wasn't the family that made me feel that way. It was just, I guess, just how I was taking everything in. But anyways, so feeling that way, growing up, it just increased, right? It just increased. So the earliest memories to go to when, about being manipulative,
Mhm.
being shady, being sneaky. You know what I mean? And I remember one time the ice cream man came around, right? Everybody had money but me, right? So I said, "Oh no, that's this ice cream man." You know what I mean? It was we called him the Swan Man.
Mhm.
So I went in my sister's room, got her piggy bank, right? I said, "No, I'm getting ice cream too, right?" And then so what happened? I took it, I got caught, and then my mom said, "Hey, put that thing back, right?" But the only thing I felt I wanted to get ice cream. So I took that piggyback and I ran past the ice cream man. I just kept on running. I was young and I remember I was in a red little jumpsuit, short jumpsuit, right? That's how young I was, right? And maybe that's telling you how old I am. But so I kept on running and running, right? And my mind says, no, I took this piggy bank. I want ice cream. And you know what? I'm gonna get ice cream. You know what I mean? But not knowing all that until now, you know what I mean? It was like I knew I was on a mission. Anyways, I got home, and of course, there was no DPS or anything like that. I got it pretty good. You know what I mean? I got it pretty good. But that was the first thing I remember. Why do I do the things that I've done in life, right? Looking back, reflecting on it, right?
Mhm.
It was just that I knew I felt different and I lived different. You know what I mean? So everything took place like that. Older brothers, I have three older brothers. Not gang affiliated. They're kind of like regular people, right? Regular people, and those three older brothers I'm talking about, rest in peace. They all passed, right? So I have one younger brother, which also had a little different twist, right? So growing up in that kind of situation, I understood that, yeah, well, maybe that's why I feel different because they're not like me. That's not how I'm rolling, right? That's not how I was rocking, right? So, anyways, as time went on, like I say, parents very supportive. I played Pop Warner, was able to uh, provide paper routes and stuff like that, provide my own little money, right, to do some stuff. But it wasn't until, like I say, that sneaky behavior snuck back in, right? So I went in three paper routes and I figured I want to be sneaky with it, right? Kept all the papers in the backyard, used to go around and collect all the money and and stuff like that, right? And not delivering the papers, but collecting the money. And since the neighbors knew I was like the little travieso around there, well, just give them the 450, man. Otherwise, so that's how, because mom said, if you want to wear hush puppies, cat, you got to buy your own clothes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because we were going to Miller's Outpost, right? I wasn't into that stuff, right? But anyway, so that's what happened. So starting that behavior, and it got older, right? So before we get to the older part, growing up, grew up in the neighborhood, um, grew up on a street where everybody, the homies were at, right? So our pad was like the pad where we all kicked it, right? So that it was hard to do something different because just normal. You come outside, you start drinking, smoking weed, and all that with the homies right there, right? So nothing, everything felt in place. Everything felt. Well, that's the reason I felt different because I am different, right? So time goes on, a little bit time goes on, school, right? So going to school, uh, travieso in school. Some people said I was goofy or no, not that goofy. What do you call it? Clown or something like that. Used to clown people, do funny stuff, right? So I never thought that to be true. But then I guess I am. I'm a funny guy, right? Because I still like to clown and do some stuff, right? But with that, it got me in trouble a lot in school. So with the homies in school, we had different recess hours. We couldn't all be together because it was chaos, right? So, that was like growing up, right? So that was and being uh drugs and alcohol, right? And when I say drugs, it wasn't hard drugs, it was weed, right?
Mhm.
It was weed at the time and drinking Bergie beer and stuff like that. And it wasn't until, like I say, maybe the seventh, eighth grade. Oh, wait, let me go back. So playing Pop Warner, right? That I guess that was like sort of like well, here's something to do. My parents would think, here's something to do. So my parents even got involved with running the snack shack. My sisters in cheerleaders. You know, it was a family kind of thing, right?
Mhm.
And then after that, it's still, the where we lived, right? It was just, we just took it as it came, right? I still stayed doing what I was doing, uh, trying to make ends meet. You know what I mean? About
Mhm.
finding out who I was, because, like I said, I always felt different. And then when it came to the end of junior high school, right? Junior high school, and of course, like, uh, getting arrested, your mom's coming to pick you up, pop's coming to pick you up. I'm never going to pick you up again. This is the last time. But until next weekend, it was the same thing, right? So it was kind of always in that little mischief kind of stuff. Went to high school for maybe, I believe it was for a year, and maybe a little over a year. You know what I mean? Then I started catching some cases, going to the county jail from, instead of juvenile, going to the county jails and stuff like that. And then shortly after that, I was so now the drugs, right? Now here's the weed, and
Mhm.
then beer, but here comes the drugs now, right? The drugs, which consisted of love leaves, angel dust, right? So smoking that, doing that crazy stuff, because, like I said, that stuff, if you didn't hear the train, man, it was no good, right? So did that for a little while, and then one day, my homie tells me, "Hey, go to the connections. Here's $20. Go pick up some heroin," right? So there was a lady there, and I guess maybe she liked me or something, right? Because she used to always give me balloons, right? But I never did heroin, right?
Mhm.
So once I found out the value in it, oh, it was over, right? It was over. So the homie used to give me $20, and I used to take handfuls of balloons. You know what I mean? So once I seen that look in his eyes, like, wait, 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 you're getting over somehow. This is something must be good, right? So I said, listen, I need in on this. You know what I mean? This is something happening. No, this ain't for you, blah, blah, blah. Well, I ain't picking up no more, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, here it goes. So I first time slam, right?
Mhm.
Threw up sick, you know what I mean? But it was something. So one day that lady says, hey, you want to go to the movies, right? She pulls up to the side of the house, to the corner of the house. Hey, you want to go to the movies, right? I look, I say, yeah, why not?
Mhm.
So I knew she was old. I was 16, 17, and she must have been in her 30s, right? And then so yeah, let's go. So we're in there. So once we get to the Fiesta 4, right, she hands me everything. And mind you, I never done it before by myself,
Yeah.
right? So I had just, you know, but anyway, so I had a dude, she gave it, she was thinking all the time she gave it to me. I said, well, I seen how it's done. I can do it. You know what I mean? So I did it. Uh, Overdosed first time, you know what I mean? So we go, end up in the hospital, and then my mom comes and she sees that lady there. She goes, who are you? She goes, that's my boyfriend, right? My mom said, that your boyfriend? She goes, you're my age. So my mom said, okay, so get out of the hospital, do all that. And she goes, did that lady give it to you? I said, no, nobody gave it to me. This is what came about. Anyway, so um, the connection now became my friend,
Mhm.
right? And so she says, "No, here, this is how you do it," and everything. So she got me hooked. You know what I mean? I was able to do it, and so after that, that's just I'm going to just say this. That's where everything happened, right? And like I say, Tecatos back in the day. This, like I say, I'm saying like maybe the early '80s. It was a lot different, right, than today. Because, like I say, today I know the only good dolphin's a dead one. But anyway, so it got hooks, crime, prison, uh, um, uh, burning bridges, um, family members disappointed, everything that snowballs from using drugs, right? And so, man, that was kind of the deal, right? The little it's a little story, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it wasn't big. It was just that was the way it went, right?
Yeah.
And
Hey,
then
Chris, let me ask you something though. During that whole time that you first started and it's starting to progress more, and your mom familiar with like the behaviors? Did
well,
she know anybody else? I mean, living
yeah,
in the neighborhood, I'm
yeah.
sure there was other
Well,
tecatos there.
family members, you know what I
Oh,
mean? I
okay.
grew
So
up
she
with.
was
Oh yeah,
already,
so yeah, it was no secret, right?
yeah.
But for me being so young, at that time, that was kind of like, what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
But like I say, I always felt different, so I always knew how to keep my distance from the care and concern that they wanted to
Mm,
give me. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I knew how to do it,
That was
right?
a part of the
That
whole.
was
That
the
was a
whole
part of the whole.
cha-cha. How
Yeah.
was I gonna get high if I'm gonna let her cry for me and cry in
Yeah.
front of me? That was the whole cha-cha. So uh staying back a little bit and just peeping everything, picking up game. I picked up game on that, you know what I mean? Because there wasn't too many young tecatos out there, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And the old, you know what I mean? Old Lou, Uncle Lou, and all.
Chewy from down the block.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
So
how were you coming about this the dope as it started to get more and more progressive in your life? You
yeah,
know.
so the cheating, the robbing, the stealing, the criminal activity that came with it, you know what I mean? And then so I thought, hey man, listen, if I sold PCP, which was cools at the time, right?
Mhm.
They were cools. If I sold a dipper, that was $20. That was 2 bags. You know what I mean? So that's how that became. You know what I mean? And then a neighbor of ours, older dude who's been there, done that. Hey, I guess he just got out from doing maybe 15 years or something like that. So he was hip. He laced me up on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So I was able to maneuver that lifestyle, and
Wow.
keep it alive. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Keep it alive. Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of your early convictions, your early arrests, was it drug possession or
No,
was it the criminal
yeah,
behavior to get
the
the
criminal
to
behavior, the gang activity, everything in the homeboy handbook from chapter 1 to verse 13. You know what I mean? That whole gamut. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Which takes place, and like you have everybody you have on here, their stories, right? Like I say, the similarity. So coming on here and being able to share people that been there, done that, know that, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then for those that don't understand it, right? This is an opportunity to understand that, once being young and having your mindset on some things, right? And that's back in the days, there was really nobody to come out like gang interventions, social workers or nothing like that. It wasn't something they cared about, right? So, anyways, yeah. So that's how uh, that went, right? The criminality became in there, uh, you know, the violence and all that stuff. Like I said, chapter 1, Homeboy Handbook to verse 13. You know what I mean? And so that's basically what everybody shares about. Everybody that's been there, they understand that, right?
Yeah.
But, but like I say, I don't know if I'm making sense, but for the person that don't understand it, who's listening today, and maybe their kid is going through something, right? One of the things is to get help elsewhere. You know what I mean? Because sometimes seek help from someone else. You know what I mean? Seek some guidance from someone else, because
Yeah.
it comes a lot easier than from at home. You know what I mean? Because my parents weren't able to tell me nothing, and I knew that, right? And like I said, well, I never had anybody to come and, hey, let me help you. Why are you doing this? And there was nothing like that. But now that I know, right, and understanding it, I'm better. I have better knowledge that sometimes in the home, the help is best when it comes from outside the home. You know what I mean?
Mm.
The experience, because like my experience my experience at home is I didn't want I lied to everybody, I manipulated, you know what I mean? So how can it be truth, or how can I ask them for help, or how can they help me when I've already burned those bridges, right? So now I know, like I say, just by my experience of helping people at risk youth, that I know that it's better received coming from somebody else. You know what I mean? Because I said, well, haven't your parents told you that? Yeah, but it didn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It wasn't what I wanted to hear from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's some other stuff that people want to hear from their parents, and it's not, don't do this, don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of times it just comes with, okay, Mio, I get you, man. This, it's okay. You know what I mean? We're going to
Mhm.
find you help. We're going to help you,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And one of the things, Chris, with us in our culture, that them before us that had used in criminality and prison life, all that stuff. A lot of times when the kids start doing it, sometimes there's that guilt and our shame. How am I going to tell them not to mess up, not to dabble in with the weed, you know? And the way weed is nowadays, it's like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know when I was younger, that was the gateway. You know, everybody said, yeah, you're going to use that first, and then you're going to use coke, and then you're going to start slamming and just working your way up. You know, but nowadays, it's like parents encourage their kids, you know, use weed and not meth. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing with that as well is that parents are using weed. So I mean the justification on medical reasons and stuff like that, right? So that becomes for the kid. Well, if you're doing it, I'm doing it, right? It's okay. I gotta. My hair hurts. I need a blast. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things too nowadays, right? Well, my parents do weed and you know they do that stuff, right? So I can do it. You know what I mean? It came from the earth. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
And the thing is, though, is that marijuana and the alcohol and all that. Now, I mean, it's still a gateway, but now it's going to the fentanyl, and they're dying. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, for real, it's like, where's the common sense at? Like, man, don't you know people are dying? But I remember one time when I was on Hill Street, bro. When I was on Hill Street during 2003, I remember LAPD came to the Nexus, and they brought us a flyer about a bad batch that was like within from like 25th or 20th all the way up into Pico over to Olympic, all the way over. And they gave us this thing and said, hey, just letting you guys know, we know your drug program, letting you guys know that there's a bad batch of heroin out here. Hey, all the Tacos was like, where is it at? You know what I mean?
It's that you see that
it's
because
crazy.
That's a tecato for you. Because my aunt used to work at a hospital, and she used to has a warning. Oh, the heroin's bad, and they're overdosing like flies out there, right? And so she worked at Monterey Park Hospital. So of course I went to Monterey Park Hospital, hung out, seeing the families. Hey, where do you pick up at? You know what I mean? And that's a sickness.
That's crazy.
People die, but you want the good one.
Like, man, if they're dying, that must be the good stuff. I don't want the bunk stuff. You know, them fools were just lightweights. You know what I mean? They're not like me.
Yeah, right.
Dang.
But here it goes again.
Yeah.
Once and I'm gonna call it, once that thing gets on your back, right? It's very hard to listen to something, to make sense of it, right? Because it's that physical, it's that mental, you know what I mean? That you're not gonna you don't hear nothing. You don't hear that it's gonna kill you, right? Well, it's because a good dolphin will shoot up until he's plays that game of almost turning purple, right? And tried to figure it out. But it's just it's just when you're that far, you don't hear nothing. For me, the only way I was able to kick is to get busted. To get busted, go man down, go get some medication to sleep, and then do it all again, right? So, but the thing is now knowing everything that I know now, right? So I think by my experience when I talk to people, because I know once you're in it, you don't want to hear nothing from nobody. So here it is. How am I going to reach this guy, right? First, we're going to address the withdrawal, because you're going to have to kick, right? And even with the methamphetamine, right? I mean, they still have a good kick on it. You know what I mean? People say it's sleep or whatever. I didn't mess around, so I don't really know what the what you know what I mean, what the kicking, but still it's a physical, man. It's a mental. It drives you crazy. But there is a detail. So I understand now, if I'm going to house somebody, if they come to me for substance abuse problems, right? Let's detox you. Let's get you into a medical detox.
You can't, like you said, they're not going to listen before they have that.
Right,
you know
right. And that's the challenge right now, because you mentioned fentanyl. That thing ain't no joke right now, right? And sometimes, like I say, I think about stuff sometimes. And I'm just glad I got out when I did. Well, I've been clean for over 25, going on 25 years, you know what I mean?
And that's right.
And yeah. But still those dreams come, of course, you know what I mean? But I'm able to leave it at the pillow, right?
Yeah.
I say, well, that was a good one. Maybe I'll dream, you know what I mean? But I don't have to pick up and do a home invasion after, you know what I mean? I don't have to wake up and go into somebody's home and duct tape them and put the dogs in the freezer and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I can leave it on the pillow and that's it.
You know what's funny as you're saying that, though, because I remember in groups, other brothers would say, man, I ain't lying. That dream was so real. I thought I was going to drug
Yeah.
test dirty just from that dream. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
there
saying? I
ain't
was
no
like,
joke.
wow,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
very passionate,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
So, Chris, how long did that cycle happen? That cycle of addiction, bro?
So,
Because you got
from
started when
yeah,
you were 17
yeah,
years
yeah. So
old.
like in the 80s and it like I say till that's no, I'll tell you the last time I used was in 2000.
Yeah.
It was Halloween
Mhm.
uh 2000. That's when I
Yeah.
got arrested. And they came in, hit the thing. That was the last time I used. And then so got busted, did all that stuff. I got out in 2008, right? And the funny thing is that about getting out in 2008, right? I was with this girl for a while, and she was a normal girl, right? But she was also an enabler, right?
Hmm.
And so the person that she was with was a dope fiend, right?
Yeah.
So all the things, the enabling, the pampering, the making sure, if I was sniffling, if
Yeah.
we went on a trip, oh, here, go get enough to last, you know what I mean? All that stuff. So this time I got out, right? Like I paroled from Corcoran, and then so it was a high control, they don't let you out until Monday or whatever. So I took the bus. She had came to pick me up, but I ended up having to take the bus. So when I met her at the Greyhound in Los Angeles, right? She comes out. As a matter of fact, something like this, the whole kit, right? And I looked at her. I said, "No, I'm good right now." You know what I mean? And she said she starts crying, right? I said, "What are you crying for?" "Will Sally get your money back or whatever?" And the response was, "I never thought I'd ever hear you say no to that." You know what I mean? And that was the time when like I say, that was it in 2000. I got out in 2008 because I figure what we used to do, right? Dope fiends. We were out the gate by 8, in the spoon by noon, on the floor by 4, and doing it again at 10, right? But I did something different because, like I said, when I was in Corcoran, I was in on G Yard, right? Walden House was there, so
Whoop, whoop.
yeah, so yeah, Walden House. Walden House was there, and that's when I met Joey, right? Joey, like I said, Joey came to support me today because he's a big reason why the change that happened, right?
Yeah.
Of what he introduced me to. He introduced me to a family concept of what Walden House was promoting, right?
Hmm.
And once again, when I get to Corcoran, I felt I was bamboozled. I was endorsed to Folsom, coming from Susanville, and had a layover. Got laid over right there, and then I didn't know nothing about that. How that yard was and program and everything. But Joey was one of the first guys that I kind of met, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, he was. I don't think he was. He had a date at the time. I think he was waiting to go to board, and so, his little get down was all right. I see what a mentor. He was a mentor, right?
And you didn't know him prior to that?
No, I didn't know him
Okay.
prior to that, right? So now I'm peeping. I mean, when you get somewhere,
Yeah.
you get your bearings, right? So I gravitated to this
Yeah.
guy, right, because of his consistency. He didn't play the game with that program.
Yeah.
He wasn't, you know what I mean? So I said, okay, well, that's a solid dude, right?
Yeah.
If he can hold his mud and
Yeah.
doing this stuff, that's a solid dude,
What
right?
what year was that, Chris?
And this was in from 2006.
Okay. So he
2006.
already had almost
Yeah,
3 years in
yeah,
programming
yeah,
and working on himself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because he was a mentor there, and James Sykes was a
That's
mentor
right.
there, and then I think Ruben Casey was on F yard, but so I gravitated to him, right, and I just picked to let him talk. He led by example, right,
Yeah.
and once again, for people who have trust issues, right, how do you feel safe with somebody, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel safe? Well, you got to trust them, right? And being in there,
Yeah.
that old thing, trust no one, right? But once again, that family concept that he introduced and he was placing out there, that he was paving the road, you know what I mean? Oh man, that looked good, you know what I mean? That looked good. And then Michael Brenner was there, right? He was
Yeah.
a director on the yard at the time, right? And Michael Brenner just like us,
Yeah.
right? And I'm thinking, wait, hold on, these guys are, you know what I mean? Mind you, still, what didn't know how to trust these people,
Yeah.
right? But it wasn't until getting to know them, and they took a little special interest in me. You know what I mean? Hey, Wayne came down, Wayne Garcia came
Mhm.
down, John Stallone came down, right? They see what we were doing in the G1B. You know what I mean? It was going good. So I followed Joey's lead. I became a demonstrator in there, facilitating groups, helping the staff that was there, rein everything
Yeah.
in so that everybody that was there had a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in those places, there's
Yeah.
as we call the therapeutic community, termites, right? They
Yeah.
go in there and eat at the foundation, right? So we were kind of adamant about,
Yeah.
listen, just, I get you, man. If
Yeah.
you don't want this, don't trip about it. All you
Mhm.
would have to do is go to the gate and tell the dude, hey, you want to go to the next yard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not to be like not letting someone have a chance, but just not letting them take away the chance
For
for a lot
you.
of for
Yeah.
us, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one of the things is that like I said, Joey wasn't found suitable yet, right? And like I said, something we clicked, right?
Mhm.
I said, man, good dude. We were there for, I was there for a few years, so I got to know him. I said, I want that guy to go home, man,
Yeah.
because he has a lot to offer, right? He
Yeah.
can help, right? His mentorship right there. I'm telling you, a lot of the hard head, the knuckleheads, the designated
Yeah.
drivers, all those
Yeah.
people just did about face when messing with Joey because he was with the business,
Yeah.
right?
Hey,
So
Chris, hold
yeah.
on. Take a little
Mhm.
break right there. Let me just explain, because
Yeah.
some of them probably are like, what is he talking about? Was he in prison? Was he out in the streets? What's happening?
Yeah.
So in Corcoran, SATF, which is substance abuse treatment facility, right? There was 2 yards. There was G yard and F yard, and they were designated substance abuse programs. So what happens is for 4 hours during the day, you would go to recovery lessons, you would say, right? There's groups, there's educational things taking place. So it's all recovery for like 4 hours. And then after that, you would go to work, school, whatever you did, right? So in the midst of this prison, though, there was a lot of inmates that didn't want nothing to do with recovery. They were just there hanging out, and they were like sore thumbs. They were what we considered. They were resistant to the flow of what the program was trying to do. Right? I mean, they had the tools. Everything was there for you to succeed, upon your release, to help you understand your triggers, understand, your anger issues. They even had parenting
Mhm.
there. They had, man, they had so many different things to offer. So when we're talking about mentors and demonstrators, these were like residential staff members, literally. And it wasn't like the staff members that were working there from the outside. The outside people got to go home. These guys dealt with things. And when I say you guys,
Yeah,
hey, I was one of them. I was a
you.
mentor as well, right?
Yeah.
So what we were there 24/7
Mhm.
having to deal with people on real life issues. You know what I'm saying? And man, trust me, there was times when we wanted vacation, like, hey, shoot, I've been working around the clock, but that's what he's referring to as far as, guys in the program and demonstrators and mentors, because there was a lot of resistance in trying to help
Yes.
people. The goal was to help people uh um rehabilitate, you know what I mean, and really learn about sobriety and steps and coping methods and all this different stuff. So not everybody there wanted it, but people like Joey and Chris
Mhm.
and myself
Yeah.
that bought into, like, hey, this recovery stuff works. You're talking about a tecato of years, a convict of years, both of them. What I mean? Me as a lifer as well. I mean, when you're going through regular prison and all the politics and the stabbings and the lockdowns, after so many years, you just adapt to it and you just roll with the everyday punches, right? But when you're offered this opportunity to do something with self first, because that was the
That's what.
rule,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
had to work on self first before you could help somebody else.
Yeah.
We all had to go through orientation. We all had to work through the different phases. But eventually we get to a place where we get to apply, all of that teaching, all of that stuff that we taken in, and it's a lot to
So,
take in,
so
even in prison, man. Working on self,
yes.
it's
So
not easy.
you said something self, right? Unless you tapped into self and started shedding some mask, you know what I mean? The process wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to work because you still had those layers of who you thought you were, who you thought you needed to be, who you wanted to be for somebody else. You know what I mean? It wasn't until you tapped into self and said, "Wait, hold on, this ain't the this ain't the this ain't really what I want," because everybody was trying to get out.
Yeah.
And they had places for people that didn't want to get out, and
Yeah.
that's that's what it was, right?
Mhm.
But in these places, everybody was a go home yard. Everybody, had a chance to go home, right? Nobody was doing nothing over
Yeah.
there. It was kind of quiet, but the personas that they still held, right?
Yeah.
Because of where they were,
Mm.
what needed to be upheld, right? Until those masks that I'm gonna just say me, until I started shedding some masks,
Yeah.
right? Until I started tapping into who I was, where I was,
Yeah.
where I wanted to be, and then that was the hard part.
Yeah.
But what made it easy is with guys like you, Joey, Jojo, the people that were there, right?
Mhm.
Well, guess what, man? Now I know what a support system is. Now I know what it is for another man to have the same feelings that I had and to make a choice not to ever have to feel like that again, right?
Yeah.
To to tell another man, hey man, I feel confused or whatever, right? Well, first of all, if you have these masks on, well, that's going to be a sign of weakness.
Mhm.
It ain't until you start shedding these masks that you're able to, touch into self.
Yeah.
And one of the things is self. That's a tough thing. That's a tough thing to deal with because once again, the wreckage from your past, the guilt, the shame, you know what I mean? And at this time, my last stretch, I've already my three kids. I had my three kids, right? They were young. And I remember my daughter, she was she had got pregnant. And when I left, she's a little girl, you know what I mean? Young lady, right? So she wanted to come up to see me to present me with the news, right? So she came up and she says, "Dad, yeah, I'm here. I just had to tell you something. I'm not your little girl no more. I'm gonna be a mom, right?"
Wow.
That was a beautiful day. But I'm gonna tell you because I reflect on that day. But if it wasn't for that, because if I didn't tap into self, that would have meant nothing.
Yeah.
There would have been no beauty in it, right? But by the time she came around to do all that, I already picked up some skills.
Yeah.
I already picked up a different way of thinking. I reframe my thinking, right? And my actions as well, right? So that was a beautiful thing. And that's when I knew, wait, yeah, I'm onto something. That felt like goo goo gaga or something. You know what I mean? That feeling, right?
Yeah. Feeling
And
human
yeah,
again.
feeling human. But then when you said that, I'm feeling human, but I don't think I ever felt human. Well, I felt, human being, right? But be normal
Yeah. Yeah.
or stuff because I never knew what normal was because from like I said, when we started, I always felt different.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was normal, right?
Yeah.
So with these things that I'm experienced, right? Oh, okay, that's all right. If this is normal, okay, let me be, you know what I mean? Let me
I want
square up.
more of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. But those things about tapping in and having a support system and finding your path, right? Because once again, I didn't trailblaze nothing. I followed the path that you guys trailblazed. You know what I mean? You guys paved the way for someone to follow. So that's why I do what I do so that I can participate in clearing out a little, you know what I mean, a path for others to follow. Very important to have a support system.
That's right.
And through Walden House, right? Walden House, which Health Right 360, right? The therapeutic community, right? Well, in the years that followed, right? Treatment changed.
Oh yeah. Big
Treatment
time.
changed, right? Health Right, the chair was taken out, the bench was taken out. Uh, no time to reflect. You know what I mean? It would just go see your therapist and stuff like that. But I think if I was to have got out during these times right now, I don't think I would have made it because
Yeah.
those haircuts,
Rough. Yeah.
those
Yeah.
those
Because for you that are
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
and kind of like, I know it's hard unless you've been through recovery. Some of this talk is, foreign to you. But when we came through treatment, and we were within just a few years of apart, it was still basically that attack therapy in your face. You're messing up. You had brothers like Joey to get there and tell you, hey, you're messing up, right? And there was also punishments. I know when I came through treatment, you get caught with dope in the program, you're gone. You had to call back like every day for like 90 days, and hopefully there was a bed for you. And things evolve, and I'm trying not to knock today's things,
Right.
but I'm like you though. I'm like, if I would have had it like this, maybe, I don't know, what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
with the
because
unknown.
I
Yeah,
needed I think I needed a little bit of fear
sure.
under
Yeah.
under my rear end, telling me, hey, you mess up, you're out of here. And with my situation, I mean, everybody knows. I mean, I don't ever try to pretend like I was some big time dolphin. I smoked a little this, snorted a little that, but I got busted so young. I
Right.
never
Yeah.
had enough to ruin my life,
Right.
I say. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But I still battled with the criminal thinking and the
Thinking.
triggers and a lot of other things. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to forfeit my being there. But I knew though, one of the cardinal rules, I don't
Smoke
even
no
know if there's
drug.
cardinal rules
No.
nowadays, but in them days, a threat of violence or an act of violence,
Violence.
even a threat
Threat.
of violence was getting you kicked out of the program, and so you had to like watch your tone,
And then when you say about
Mhm.
having to somebody to get put it down to you, right? It wasn't just an average Joe,
Yeah,
somebody. For these were people that already established
yeah,
a part in your life that you knew they weren't with the
yeah,
funnies, right? They knew your best interest was at hand. This wasn't for them to yell and scream just because they wanted to. You know what I mean?
yeah,
This was they were talking. Well, when I got one, they were talking to me with and I heard passion, right? And it was rough, right? But I
yeah,
heard that passion because this person standing right there addressing me on my stuff, right? And but I know it's coming out of care and concern, and that's one of the things that's very important. When we address somebody or somebody's behavior, it has to come out of care and concern
yeah,
because it becomes uh, it's ineffective, right?
yeah,
And I think the time that we came through or the time that was implied, right? I think that's the exact time that was needed for me, right?
yeah,
But I always knew it came out of care and concern. there
yeah.
wasn't there wasn't no malice to it, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It was that understanding of A helping B and A
Yeah,
saying,
well,
wow,
yeah, yeah.
it was
Mhm.
each one
Each
teach one,
one, that's right. When
this
you
was the,
trust the process, yeah. And the reason when I'm talking, right, because I never went to any other programs. Walden House was the first program that I went to, right? That I and then there's people that say, "Oh, Walden House saved my life," right? And that's so that's for some people, right? But my thing is Walden House gave me an opportunity to have one, right?
mm,
I remember Michael Brenner telling me I got out. Uh, Pro office was in Pomona. I don't know why. Went to Pomona, told me, hey, I'm going to pro to my girlfriend's house. She lives in Anaheim. Orange County didn't accept me because of, some cases that I had out there
mm-hmm.
that
Yeah,
didn't go pretty good. But anyway, so he said, Michael Brenner came to the cell and he says, hey, man, call me when you get out. I'm going to have Dee Dee meet you at intake. And she's in there. I said, man, I'm going home, man. You know what I mean? He said, no, call. So that rang in my mind. I said, so I called Mike. I said, hey, Mike, my professor says I need an LA address, man. Where's the program at? He goes, it's over there in Inglewood on Century. So he said, all you got to do is call that, talk to Dee Dee, rest in peace, Dee Dee. Talk to Dee Dee, and I'll take care of everything with the pro officer, right?
yeah,
So I told my girlfriend, I said, listen, I'm going to go to that program. And of course, she got a few flat tires, meaning you just came home. What are you going to a
yeah,
place like that for? But it was already said. I already had a game plan. I just don't know how I was going to execute it, right?
yeah,
Because when she went to pick me up, I said no to using because I figured, you know what, that's always going to be there. So I get there, right, and with knowing someone had my back when I didn't even, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
when it says come to trust the process, all these things came through from Walden House, right? And then Michael Brenner's saying, "I got your back," right? And before people tell us they got your back, yeah,
yeah, right.
Come on.
I've heard that
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
I always tell people
yeah.
that's what my crime me told me.
Yeah. But this guy demonstrated that from afar, right? So, I took the chance with Walt and everything that they had to. They said, hey, you can't have cell phones or coffee in your drawer. You know what? I never had a cell phone. I wanted to. I used to pay phone on the wall. You know what I mean? Coffee. I love coffee in the morning. Just two scoops, right? So I said, but you know what? Let me drink their coffee because if I do that, then you know what I mean. I'm doing something they're asking me not to do. And
Yeah, it
you
was
know what I
called
mean?
permissions.
It was
Don't take
called
permissions.
Yeah, it was called don't take permission. So I did everything he said because Michael Brenner had told me, he says, Chris, I'll guarantee you a different quality of life as long as you don't stick a needle in your neck, right?
Yeah.
And I held to that. It's okay, you know what I mean? And I waited for it. I waited for it. With waiting for that, right?
Yeah.
My kids, I'm the bee's knees with my kids, my grandkids, right? Let me go back to just a little bit with my kids. My kids didn't grow up all cuddled and all. My kids grew up in the back with 64 Chevy on the way to the connection at 3 a.m. with no lights, you know what I mean? All this stuff, not in a car seat, but in a blanket, you know what I mean? So they used to watch the bedroom door, listen to see it, because me and their mom listened to see if we're breathing, stuff like that. So they picked up on it early. And but my kids, there was no mini me's, no mini me's or hers, but my daughter, they're all responsible, right? Is because we never hid anything from them because that was the lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know any better, and that was it. But anyways, the kids, I want to my son Christopher, the pops, right? He's graduating Teen Challenge next week, right? He took after his mom footsteps. His mom's a pastor, right?
Okay.
So yeah, so he's graduating, and like I say, that's man. I still haven't processed that yet because how proud I am of him because of the dedication that he took, right?
Yeah.
And this is just, I'm sorry, I just want to
No,
give
that's
my
your story.
kids
That's
a little shout out. My daughter Sabrina, not right, that's her name. But anyways, one of the best mothers I knew to my grandkids, right? I mean, she used to be the mother figure to the kids, right? And she always took control of the situations. And then my baby bird, right, which is Cynthia, 4 sons, and the patience that she has and the way the kids are growing up, man, I couldn't be any prouder of them.
Yeah.
Right? My son-in-law's in the Navy. My other son-in-law's a go-getter. You know what I mean? So that's a beautiful thing because when I was talking about don't stick a needle in your neck, you'll have a different quality of life.
Yeah.
Well, that's the quality of life I never knew, right?
Yeah.
To know that, you know what I mean, that unconditional, that love, right? So anyways, to Nana, my son, Pops, and Cynthia, I love you guys.
That's right. That's right. That's a blessing right there, man, to see your offspring just prospering. You know what I'm saying?
And they always come up with, okay, we know, Dad, trust the process.
Yeah. My son right here, when he was in high school, he was on contract. Yeah, read it off. You know what I mean? Because we know it works. If it worked for us grown men, it works. You know.
And it's funny that you say that about your son being on those things, right? Because I remember too when, but I was using but maybe I had skills that I didn't know it, right? We had a den, and every time, like, because I wanted to sneak off and get loaded, right? I had to get them to do something.
Yeah.
Go right on the chalkboard what Easter means to you, right? And so there would be a time on the, you know what I mean? Well, I'll be in the bathroom, you know what I mean? And come, oh, that's good. But anyways, things like that happen. You know, we pick up some stuff, you know what I mean? But Walden House, very instrumental in who I am today.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, I mean, you went through the program, trust the process, picked up them tools, you know what I'm saying? And I know, you know, when you're a mentor and a demonstrator and you do them years and they're doing it, hey, it takes a lot of humility to get out and want to go through it again, because it's like you don't start off with the credentials you had. They start you off just as everybody else, learning that ABC book all over. Yeah, we have a little head start because we know it, but hey, it's real humbling, you know, because you're like taking a step back and we're out now. We're trying to play catch up, and it's, you know, but you know what? It worked for us.
Yeah, because being laced up like they did back then
Yeah.
and stuff. So before I go on with that, because when me and Joey we were Sally's, right, and Joey used to tell me, "You're gonna work for them when you get out," right? And the first thing I thought, I'm not, I don't know if I want to do gardening,
Yeah.
right? Because that's all I thought. You know what I mean? Well,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
work for them, I'll be a gardener,
Yeah.
clean up around the
Mhm.
facility. Because I never knew what a facility was, right?
Yeah.
But he told me that, right? And he spoke it into existence for me, right? Because I got out, went to the program, completed it, uh, got a first job at a warehouse, and I was kind of older, so I was humping trucks, right?
Yeah.
So once they gave me the opportunity to drive the forklifts, well, they did a background check. They said, "Well, you can't come back here," right? So I called Michael Brenner and said, "Hey, man, I'm coming back." He said, "What do you mean coming back?" I said, "Yeah, I got fired." He said, "Well, continue, right?" I said, "No, you told me, you know what I mean? I gave Drew, you told me I'd have a different choir, you know what I mean?"
Yeah.
So he goes, "Okay, come back." He said, "But you're not going to come back to stay. I won't give you some direction, right?" So he told me to go apply for school, right? To
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
school for substance abuse, right?
Mhm.
And I did, man. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me, right? And the part about that was is that when Joey said you're gonna work for that always kept to me, right?
Yeah.
Going to school, I didn't want to go, you know what I mean? But that was something he said, because once again, I want to just stress this, the importance of support system, right?
Yeah.
People who are struggling, right? They're struggling for a reason, whether it's some trauma, whether it's mental health, something, right? People are struggling. If the right support system ain't there, it's just going to continue. It's going to get deeper. The trust level's not going to be there, right? And I've learned that, right? And I've learned that by experience with the support system that you guys had. You were there, always shining, coming back, giving back to the house. You were the overnight. You did all kinds of all aspects of treatment in Walden House. You executed, right? But you supported everybody. That's the level of support. So one thing that I want to just to bring home, man, to put out there, support. Find out what a person's suffering from. Find out what you know what I mean, and be supportive of uh, directing them to where they need to be, right?
Yeah.
Because if we let it go and we keep on, man, we're just prolonging worse to follow.
Yeah.
Worse to follow. And Walden
So
House and you, Jojo, Joey. I mean, you guys are a great support system, and as your listeners know, they know that already. They're tuning in, right?
yeah.
And um, if a caller calls later on and they could tell you, say what's your favorite color, right? They get a book coming, brother. Okay, because I know they know you, brother.
Yeah.
You're out there.
Yeah.
You have a platform, and man, that support. You have
Yeah.
never turned. I never heard you or heard anybody ever said that there wasn't something that you turned your back on,
Mhm.
and that says a lot about you and about support. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But I learned, like you learn from Mike Brenner, from
Yeah.
Wayne Garcia.
You see,
They say they got your back. They got your back,
yeah.
But Chris, right now people are listening and they're thinking, oh man, sounds like it was easy for this guy, Yeah, he got busted and made a 360, a 180 change, and it ended up coming and doing his treatment, started working. But hey, let's talk about all the
Yeah.
other struggles, though, because if you don't mind,
Yeah.
though, because I just want them to know, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
don't
No,
mind,
I
just
don't mind.
touching a
Yeah.
little bit about
So
your medical
yeah,
conditions.
and let me just say this: getting out, right, doing all this stuff, and once again, I shedded these masks, right, and they were uh, I took them all off. I came out with just my face, right. So I did everything that I needed to do, right. I didn't go back to no family. I didn't go back to sleeping on nobody's couch, living in the backyard in a rambler on blocks. After the dog just had a litter, I said, "No, I'm gonna man up," right. So I did some stuff to man up and do some things, right? And while life goes on, right, ailments come, right? Ailments come, right? And before I get into that, my wife Sonia, I want to give her a shout out. She also came to support me, and she's been my support since day one. We've known each
Right.
other since grade school, but our paths never crossed in that way. It wasn't until maybe we've been together for about 6 years, been married for 5, and the that we got married in December the 27th, right? And then before that, I was diagnosed with cancer, right? I got sick and we had just hooked up. We just, everything was going good for us. And so I got sick. I had to go to the hospital, and they said, "Man, you're approaching stage 4 stomach cancer, right?" He goes, "We're gonna have to, do some stuff immediately, right?" And this was on Thanksgiving Day, the day before the Thanksgiving Eve. I'll say. We went to look at a house. We were going to purchase a house, right? Beautiful house, able to have horses and all that, right? And then so we were excited. The next morning we went to Costco's, and I get a call from the doctor, right? I
Yeah.
had got out of the hospital. He says, "Listen, man," he goes, "we need to talk. You're approaching stage 4. We got to get you into this emergency, treatment, right?"
Yeah.
And for that was that, like, come on, what I mean? Cancer, people die, right? So my wife, she suffered by herself real quick because she said she knew that by her being who she is, I got to be strong. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
broke it down. You know what I mean? I broke it down. You know what I mean? I finally, with the woman that was that was my future, right? And now I can't. You know what I mean? I'm going to shortstop her, right? So I'm going to cheat her, right? So she took on an active role, and during this treatment, right? All this stuff, she was my support system. Once again, support, right? Because once I found out and how sick I got, I just thought about, man, I'm gonna just give me some more morphine. Let me just say, you know what I mean? And I told her because I didn't want to live like that. I want to put
Yeah.
my family, kids, and all that stuff through it, right? And she said, "No, you're gonna do it, right?" So we went and found out what the survival rate was and stuff like that. So with her being there, the littlest part of surviving, right? I said, I'm gonna take that. Instead of being uh, thinking that cancer was going to get me, I wasn't going to be a victim. I was going to be a victor, man,
Amen.
because I'm going to give my wife the life that she deserves, right?
That's right.
For stepping up like that and doing some stuff. So now I was diagnosed in 2020. Today, cancer free.
Amen. That's what's
And
up.
just yeah. But too, that also gave me a better understanding of my faith, right? My faith. Once again, I wanted to give up, but it wasn't until these little things that happened, right? When the feeling came over. Hey, what are you tripping on? Your promise is already written. You don't have nothing to fear. What do you do? Right? Until I got that in me, it was like, wow,
Yeah.
what am I tripping on? You know what I mean?
Man.
So going through that, right? And like I say, every morning now, I just wake up, say, I'm in the right direction. I'll do all the fighting. You know what I mean? Uh,
That's right.
I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah.
So things worked out. And like I say, only by grace and mercy that
Yeah.
I sit here today and have been able to test. Because once again, I think that by my promises already being written, I have a purpose, right? The only way I know justify why I do what I do is because I'm purpose driven, right?
Yeah.
There's a purpose, right?
Yeah.
One of my purposes is to help somebody like somebody helped me. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? When A helps B, A stays well,
That's
right?
right.
And
That's right.
those are the life skills that you have to really be naked to the world to get. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You got to let everything out, man, and you got to truly believe in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One more thing that the belief systems, right? Our belief system, right? My belief system told me from growing up I was different. My belief system led me to acting different. My belief system told me later on in life that I was a born to die dolphin, right? So everything that I believed, I did. I took
Mhm.
on that role, right? So it wasn't until Nora, right?
Mhm.
Nora says, "Listen, have you ever thought about adjusting your belief system?" Why? I mean, if I'm all right now, I've got, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I started to reevaluate my belief system and start saying, wait, hold on. Is that what you really believe? I started to have to change it, right?
Yeah.
So today, when I say, uh, if I use, I die. Because I'm a pig, anyways. Everybody will tell you I'm a pig, right?
Mhm.
So my belief system says, listen, you can't use, you'll die. Well, I don't want to die. You know what I mean? I have a purpose. I still want to continue. So the belief system was shaken up and changed, man. And Nora, you know Nora, right? Nora was a cold piece, man.
Yeah.
She shot from the hip, man.
Mm-hmm.
She taught me how to cry. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She taught me how to cry. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The belief systems, very important, man. To
Yeah.
rethink it,
Yeah.
rethink it.
And speaking of belief systems, we, throughout all that process, we're taught, and it's like indoctrinated in us that when you do the right thing, the
Yeah,
right
like
things
a
are going to
kid.
happen. And here you are doing the right thing and
Mhm.
helping people, being in the people's business, and then you're hit with the C word.
Yeah,
You're hit with that
yeah.
cancer, and it's, you know, I don't know. I can't imagine what you were feeling or what you were thinking, and the outcome, like you said, just give me more morphine. Let me not be in pain, and let
Yeah,
it just. Hey, I'm ready
yeah,
to check out. I've had a bad life, but you know
yeah.
what, man? I think my karma's pretty balanced.
Mhm.
These last few years doing the right thing. But man, I can't imagine how you were feeling though.
So
At that point.
when you say about those feelings, right?
Hmm.
For me, when I was going through it, it was like I wasn't trying to process it, man. I was just trying to either get through it or end it. You know what I mean? There was
Hmm.
no, oh, how do we do this? We're gonna do that, right? My wife, right, Sonia, I had to take medications, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to take these medications because I wasn't that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then so we were at the doctor's office one time, right? The doctor says, "Are you taking these?" I said, "No, I'm not." So my wife says, "Yes, you are." So no, I'm not. I know what I'm taking, right? She says, "No, I'm putting them in your coffee and stuff," right? So because that's the what I
Yeah.
was doing,
Yeah.
my way of thinking, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we had a beautiful home, not a home, but we lived in an apartment kind of like a townhome thing
Hmm.
in Azusa,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah, in
I stopped by there
Azusa, yeah, yeah,
with your
yeah.
two doggies,
Yeah, with my two
Clyde
dogs,
and
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and
Yeah,
Clyde.
yeah.
Yeah.
After I got better, after everything was going, I started going back to work. Every time I opened the door to go home, that misery was so thick. We had to move.
Hmm.
I told my wife, I can't live here no more because I remember sitting on that sofa. I remember being in that room, the way I felt,
Yeah.
and just the thing. No, yeah. So I had to move. I said, let me get a fresh start. So we got a nice place with a fresh start, right?
Yeah.
But just that misery, like you say, um, it is it. I still process. I'm still processing it right now because some of the stuff I didn't want to deal with. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's because it's tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I support anything that has to do with the cancer or whatever, who somebody going
Yeah.
through it. You know what I mean? Is because I remember sitting there, man, saying, man, this ain't for
Man.
me.
And
This
you were
ain't for
going
me.
through it during COVID,
Oh,
where man, you weren't
yeah,
allowed to
yeah,
have a lot of people.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
wanted to stay away from
yeah.
people
Oh,
because, hey, man, people were dying. You know what
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
saying? And
and that was one of the things the doctor said. Don't get COVID, right? Not too soon after that, my wife caught COVID, right?
mhm.
So my wife said, "I'm leaving the house. I'm gonna go." I said, "No, we was a kind of a big place. She stood in one room and I stood in the other, and then Lysol. And then, like I said, if I'm going to, I don't. This is art, like I say. So, and she always reminded me, your battle's my battle. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And she made it that way. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So we did whatever we did. But anyways, man, that stuff ain't no joke. And listen, if anybody out there that's going through something or knows somebody that is, and they need it, you know what I mean, somebody to
Yeah.
bend their ear, let me know, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
got you because once again, that experience, I'm barely processing everything. I'm understanding how I felt, why I felt it, and stuff like that. But yeah, man, and today, well, let me go back real quick. So getting out, right, and going to school, got hired by a Health Right 360, Walden House. Walden House got
Mhm.
hired by Walden House, right? So I'm working for Walden House, and we were on Grand, right? I started off at Century, we were on Grand, and then you were laid off too, no? Were we laid
No,
off?
no, I
Oh,
was
you were the
never.
only one left, or
Where for where?
from Grand
No, no, I left Grant to be the director at
at Folk
FOTEP
Tip?
for the
Okay,
Fathers Program.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because like 9 of us were let go.
Oh, yeah. I
We were
think I
in that
remember when that
circle. We were
happened.
all in that
Yeah.
circle up there
Yeah.
on the thing, right?
That's right.
And then Wayne went around the horn. How do you feel? Oh, you should have told me earlier. Everybody you had different stories, right? He says, "How do you feel?" Since you were the last one hired, you know what I mean? So I'm grateful for the experience, you know what I mean? So Michael Brenner tells me, hey, what are you gonna do after this? Because he knows I didn't have nothing going, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna keep pushing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he goes, hey, listen, you can live here. You know what I mean? And so I was able to stay there, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We said we can't pay. So then Joey, right? Joey was working at the Volunteers of America, right? So Joey says, come on, let me get you over here, right? And then Jose was saying, no, don't trip. We got you. Don't trip,
Yeah.
right? So I followed Joey's lead though, because you
Yeah.
know I trusted him.
Yeah.
Got hired at the Volunteers of America, right? And shortly after, maybe a month or so, they hired me back over there, right? They said, oh, you come back for line council. I said, no, I'm going to take the overnight shift because
Yeah.
it was open, right?
Yeah.
He says, why? I said, because I'm with Joey. We're over there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So been working 2 full-time jobs since '09. You
See,
know what I
you
mean?
guys thought I was lying.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
told you
two
he works
full-time jobs.
the
Yeah,
graveyard
yeah,
shift, the morning
yeah,
shift, the swing
yeah,
shift.
yeah. But that's the beauty in it. You know, they
Yeah.
say if you find a job you love, you never got to work
Work.
another
Yeah.
day in your life. That's why I found two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I found
And
two,
that's
but
not even
yeah.
to say everything he's doing on the side,
Oh
on
yeah.
his
That's
personal
well,
stuff.
see, all that stuff has to do with uh, you know, formerly incarcerated, for families that or have their loved ones that are incarcerated, to help. You know what I mean? Like I said,
Yeah.
so, like somebody helped me. You know what I mean? And that's what I was instilled with, right? When A
Yeah.
helps B, A stays well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's what I do. And also, if you don't mind, I'm also a part of a Chicano Power Rehab, right? Which is a platform that I have that I'm utilizing for resources for family, for substance abuse, mental health abuse, domestic violence, nurturing parenting, housing. I kind of in a position where it's kind of managing 2 SRO hotels as well, right? So if somebody out there needs to reach out and has some stuff, it's at Chicano Power .rehab on my social media. Let me know, and if there's anything I can do or you would like something to be done, let me know. I got you. You know what I mean? I just want
That's
to,
right.
what's that called? A plug? I just do
Yeah.
a
That was a
plug,
plug real
right?
quick. Yeah.
The plug. Well, since we're plugging, right? Also 1355, right?
Yeah.
Hill Street Group, right? That started off from Walden House, right? We have a whole bunch of alumni that got together and that starting a nonprofit, right? Which is the same resources with a little different twist, right? We have a workforce going on in there, you know what I mean, for those who are seeking training, education, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff that happens uh, while you're working in this field, right? So I kind of uh, incorporated everything in one. So I utilize every resource for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything. And with the Volunteers of America where I work for in the morning, it's a resiliency in the communities after stress and trauma, right? And we
Yeah.
try to get the people back into the system of care. Because even just going through COVID with families,
Yeah.
dysfunctional families, being in their families of addicted parents and stuff, that was very traumatizing to some people. So, work like that. If you know anybody, uh, give me a call. Let me
Yeah.
know, and we'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah. That's real talk right there. And I could co-sign everything he's saying, And this brother right here, if you don't know about Volunteers of America, that's in the heart of Skid Row. I mean,
Yeah,
every day these brothers walk, to work, they're hit with reality that hey, there's hurt people, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of hurt out in them streets, man. And I'm grateful, Chris, for you coming across my life and your passion, bro, because you just it's people like you that steer a lot of us to just keep going. You know what I mean? And I know Joey could say the same thing. We do it to one another. It gets hard, bro. It gets hard dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? Because dealing with people, I mean, it's not all peaches and cream. There's a lot of backstabbing, a lot of betrayal, a lot of, forget about what you're talking about. I'm going to do it my way after we poured our heart into it, And man, we done lost some sleep over some of these people, We've even come out of our pockets to help, and hey, it gets hard in the business of people.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's why I seen that as part of being in the field, right? So I learned kind of early on, right? I'm
Yeah.
gonna meet you where you're at.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you and till you can help yourself,
Yeah.
right? And I'm gonna do everything I can, but sometimes I got bad knees. I can't pick you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to get up and go, right? Um, one of the things is that finding a support, and I'm gonna, that's finding that support system. You know what I mean? Very important because once again, mental health and substance abuse, their behaviors mimic each other, so it's hard to really put a thing on it. But I work with some good people, man. So everything's good. Everything's good. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I'm well equipped. We do a lot of trainings and stuff like that. So yeah, it
Yeah.
all works out, man.
Yeah, it's crazy though. We keep on talking about support, and the other day, I don't know if you had a chance to see Robert Hill here. Yeah, brother Robert Hill, and that's what we're talking about. It's not what we know; it's the people that we know that know other people, and that's the connection. That's that's where the power lies in this helping people. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, like when they come to me, a lot of times it's about, hey, let me call somebody, let me reach out. And it's like we don't stop with that one person. Oh yeah, Chris, he can't help out in this situation, but Chris is going to call the next person and be like, okay, bingo, there it is, we got it.
That's why by just staying connected, right? Because they say you can't soar amongst eagles if you surround yourself with turkeys, right?
Yeah.
So that's we know who our circle is, right? So that's a good thing. And then not only knowing that, right, that we're tight knit, right? But I know if I send somebody to you, Jojo, it's going to be a warm handoff. I know you're going to take that person and provide. And if not, you're going to hand them off to somebody where we can meet their needs, right?
Yeah.
And that's very important for warm handoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that trust issue out there, that trust issue ain't no joke.
Yeah. That's a good one right there. Yeah. It's like, we won't just go drop somebody off somewhere, not know that they're going to be in good hands. We're going to like, that's crazy. But hey, for you guys that are watching right now, if you can see the screen, we did put the phone number on. If you would like to call in, I know we're already going into an hour and 15 minutes right now. So if you would like to call in, we're not ending just yet though, because, we're going to pull some more stuff out of brother Chris here on what he has planned for this 2025. But the number is 626-367-9275. So go ahead and give us a call in, and we'd love to hear from you.
So let me put this out there. So people are gonna call, right? So I'm gonna raise it a notch, right?
Okay.
So for the first 5 callers, right? If you haven't read JoJo's book and you're interested in it, I'm gonna for the first 5 callers, you got a book coming.
Wow. Oh, there it is. There.
Because once again, this story right here, JoJo's story, it's once you get it, man, you're gonna pass it on to others, and like I say, God's good. God's good. So for the first 5 callers, right? You don't even got to call and ask any questions. Just ask for a pizza, and I got you.
And the book he's referring to is called Reformed. It is my autobiography. I do share, a big chunk of my life and the transition, from, that I'm going to say that gangbanging life mentality to me being transformed into a man of God, and I talk about the transition in there, and man, there is just a lot of good stuff in there, man. And, man, Chris, so let me make sure I got the phone lines open. Right? Yeah, the phone lines open.
When we opened this up, we're talking about our how where it all started from and stuff like that, right? So I could have once again I could have went into some other stuff and been graphic about some stuff, right? But one of the things that keeps me doing what I'm doing is, what, that was my past. I don't want to. I want people to know me for what I do today, right?
Yeah.
What I do today. But I also know that somebody, you got to, in order to teach someone, they got to be reachable. In order to become teachable, you got to be reachable, right? But once again, there's a lot of that going around right now where there's a lot of glamorizing and stuff like that, and maybe looking good. I don't know what that goes, but I try to do something different so that you can know me for who I am today.
Let me take this one.
All right.
Hello, thank you for calling Trap No More.
Hey, you guys, this is Marlise from Walden House.
Hey, Marlise, what's up, my sister?
Hey, what's up,
I
Marty?
want my pizza and my book. What
Yeah,
y'all
there
doing?
you go.
She
You
said
got,
my pizza
yeah,
and my book.
you gotta tell me
Hey,
what your
mark
name
down
is.
Marlise's
Yeah,
name. Marlise
What's
yeah.
your
is,
name?
What your name is. Yeah.
man, sis, how you doing, beloved?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm loving what you're doing. And I love you, Chris. We go back to Walden
Yeah,
House.
that's right.
Um,
That's right.
and I just never heard your story.
Okay.
I heard bits and
Bits
pieces
and
on the
pieces. Yeah.
Sunday morning trade off in the shift, but
That's right.
I've met your beautiful children, and I
Yeah.
just want to say thank you. Thank you for embracing me, and thank you for sharing your story. I feel like I know you a little bit better now.
Well, I'm glad. So now every time you call me, it's not a butt dial. See, so this is the right
Oh,
Chris.
okay. And I call you a lot, and that probably means I be thinking about you
That's
all the
right.
time. Because
Always,
I do.
Marlies. Once again, when we talk about support,
Yeah.
right? We talk about support. You have the uncanny ability to let somebody know that how passionate you are about helping them, right? One of the things is, like I say, we work with a lot of people. You're one of the people that I've worked with who that I got knowledge from, right? I picked
Yeah.
up some of your get down, right?
Mhm.
On how to approach some stuff. You have a yes. Once again, like I say, we don't surround ourselves with turkeys. We're all eagles here, and you're
Yeah.
one of them, Marlise. And I do appreciate you. And man, we'll see you on the 25th, right?
We'll see you on the 25th.
You got
But I
it.
also need you to come back down to outpatient.
Okay,
Mondays or Tuesdays. We
got it.
have a, a large group
Okay,
on
beautiful.
Monday.
I want to take
They're
all my
different.
resources for you, housing
Yeah.
and all
So
that stuff.
When you
come
gonna
on
invite
down.
me? When you gonna invite me, Marlise? I haven't been
Yeah,
back since you
yeah,
had me go for the CGA
yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
Okay, well, I want you to come on down because I'm not at the
All of
residence.
a
I'm at
sudden.
that.
Hey, I know where 22nd
Okay.
Street is.
Yeah,
I
So
work
come
there
on
too.
down
yeah,
anytime you want to come down
that's right.
and help my brothers because right now we have a large influx of ex-lifers coming home and they're coming to 22nd Street. And I've been
Nice.
incorporating different little um agencies like Fear for Breakfast.
Oh,
They
right,
come in,
right, right.
yeah, and they are, helping the guys, giving them a little more hope because it's really hard for them, as you said,
Mhm.
being there and trusting and why I got to do this and why I got to do that. And to have you guys in the house will be fantastic. It will help them buy in a little bit more. So
That's right.
come
Thank
on
you.
down.
Yeah, you got it.
Hey,
Any
we
You
don't
got
gotta
it.
go through
doors open.
secret service
Yeah,
and everything
yeah.
like we do for 6th Street, do
Oh,
we?
no.
Oh,
No, all you
okay.
got to do is come to the doorbell and my crew will let you in.
Oh,
I have
okay.
a
Yeah, I try to
2
get in
million
6th Street, man. I had the SWAT team on me and everybody.
I'm
I'm
on the
like,
wait. Yeah,
wow.
I'm on
yeah,
the waiting list too.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's rough.
None of that at outpatient. Just ring the doorbell. And
That's
my
right.
two young staff, I have two young staff. One's name is Christopher
Yeah,
Garcia.
he got my last gift
Yeah,
card for the Christmas
yeah,
giveaway.
yeah. And Lydia, they're very
Okay.
young,
All right.
new in the field, and they are very teachable. So I would love for you guys to come in and show them another way of reaching the guys. They do all right,
Hmm.
but they could learn more
Of
from
course.
some old school
That's right.
hitters.
Well, you got it. Thank
Okay.
you,
Yeah.
Marlies. You
You
got
already know. You got
yeah.
we got
We
you.
got you. We got your
All
back.
righty. Ed
Yeah,
is ready for y'all to bring it in too.
that's
So he
right.
will be happy to see you guys as
Yeah.
well.
All right.
Okay.
All
Well,
right,
thank you.
Marlise.
You
Happy
got
New
your
Year,
book.
Marlise. Be
Happy New
blessed.
Year.
Happy
Yep.
New Year. I'll
Okay.
see you both on the 25th.
You
All
got
right,
it.
we'll be there. All right.
All right.
Oh man, that 25th,
Oh,
Mm.
that's gonna be a rough day for
yes.
me, bro.
Oh,
We
I
talking
already
about
know.
feelings and we're
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
processing, man. I mean, Tracy Break,
It's,
that was my
yeah, yeah,
caseload in
yeah, yeah.
residential and outpatient. Yeah. And then she was the training staff that I had a shadow going in when I took,
Yeah.
took that role of being a staff
Yeah,
member
yeah,
too.
yeah. And then, but once again, so the support she gave you,
Mm,
that's what we're talking about.
yeah.
How it bonded, right? How the
Yeah.
trust and when things happen, you feel stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you're absolutely right. And Tracy Bracy, man, she was a cold piece of work too. She had nothing but knowledge, and she gave it to you as it was, and that's
Oh
why
yeah,
everybody loved her. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So if you want to share who Tracy Bracy was, you know what I mean, and what why we're the 25th was
Yeah, so the
something.
25th, we're going to be doing a celebration of life. And, man, I'm so grateful, though, that this man right here, among a few other brothers, you heard us talk about a man by the name of Michael Brenner and his passing. We've lost a lot of brothers over the years, and we've buried and we've cremated and we've celebrated their life afterwards. The term of we gave them their roses when they were gone. So this brother and a couple of other brothers came up with this idea, like, we need to honor our family while they're still here. Let's give them their roses while they're alive. Let's let them hear all the good stuff that we think of them before they die. So
Yeah.
they started, but I'm a part of this
Yes, you
whole
are.
little
Yeah.
process, and it's so a couple of months back, we were able to recognize Tracy Bracy and tell her the impact she had on our lives. But a couple of weeks ago, I want to say probably about 3 weeks ago, it's pretty right? About 3 weeks ago, we got the news that our sister passed, and word got around real quick that you know a heavy hitter
Heavy
was
hitter,
now
yeah.
resting. And so on the 25th, there's going to be a
25th.
lot of us, for you Walden House alumni that are watching, and just anyone else that kind of what we're talking about, you want to see this family dynamic in action. We're going to be meeting at Delancey Street, right off of Vermont and the 101.
101.
The 101, it looks like a hotel building right next to a Denny's, right out when you get off the freeway. It's called Delancey Street, and we're gonna be there,
We're gonna celebrate,
celebrate.
yeah,
Yeah.
celebrating her life because uh she was a pillar,
Oh
to this
yeah.
therapeutic community. And she came from Delancey
Delancey.
Street, right? And Delancey Street program was no joke. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think she spent like 4 years there or something.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
spent years.
So coming to share her knowledge, right, and her personality and her what she was about, right? That was a gift that we all got. You know what I mean? Because I'm considering it a gift, right? What I've learned from her and our interactions. So we are going to celebrate her life on January 25th at 10 to 2 at Delancey Street. Jojo said if you really wanted to see a dynamic of what people do in this industry, there's going to be a plethora of programs, people from different programs who interacted with Tracy, and they're going to share a few kind words, you know what I mean? But just the unity in that community that we have, outstanding. Man, we're not going to let her go without celebrating her life. And one of the good things, like you said, Jojo, we were able to celebrate her while she was here, right?
Yeah.
I was able to provide her with the plaque, flowers, the whole 9 yards. So that's what 1355 is all about, right?
Yeah.
It came from uh, instead of waiting till someone passes to celebrate, we want to honor them while they're here, to let them know what their peers think about them, and acknowledge their many successes.
Yeah.
Many successes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a time to just
Yes.
highlight their legacy,
Mhm.
and because that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, if you're not afraid to be in a room with a bunch of ex drug addicts and convicts, yeah, you're more than welcome. You probably wouldn't even recognize
Oh,
any of them being drug addicts
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
criminals,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
so many of us are now successful
Yeah.
business owners and
Mhm.
entrepreneurs
Brewers.
and authors, and man, the list goes on and on of what we've been
Lions
able
and
to
tigers and
accomplish.
bears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't
Definitely.
got to be afraid if you
No.
want to come out and just, break bread with us. We're not charging at the door. Just show up, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to
Let's
be
yeah uh find out where all our passion comes from.
yeah.
That's to get a better standing of who we are. Is if you do decide to come, you'll see why we are the way we are,
Yeah.
because of our role models, our trailblazers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything. And at the beginning of this thing, Jojo, of course, I'm not like a nervous guy or nothing, right? But it was kind of like, because once again, talking about some stuff that I worked through, right? and sometimes bringing some stuff up and going back, right? It's like, uh, mixed emotions, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mixed emotions, right? Because there's a lot of stuff that I can tell you about that don't really have to do with what actions I took or anything like that. It's
Hmm.
just how I felt as a person, right? So knowing that, right? Everybody has a story. My story ain't no different than your story. My story ain't no different than their story. It's a story. It's a story of what makes us tick, what makes us go around, what makes us feel, what makes us think, our emotions and everything, right? So when you see somebody, right, know that they're struggling too, that you just don't know it, right?
Yeah.
Because many times we say, "How you doing?" Fine, right? We already know, you know what I mean, that you may not be fine because in the field we know what fine stands for, the
Yeah.
acronyms, right? So if um if you really see somebody that's always saying they're fine, maybe you want to help them out and dig a little bit, especially if you have a care and concern, right? Don't dig into their problems if you don't have care and concern, because you know it don't do no good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That just makes you look a little shady. You know what I mean? But if you have true care and concern,
Yeah.
help somebody, find out
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah,
That's right.
but in these stories, right? Be nervous, right? I think I was, you know what I mean? And now just process. I maybe was, right? But like I say, I had to come just to think right now. I'm sitting here with my big brothers right here, man. Um, uh, I'm sitting here comfortable in a place where I feel welcomed and stuff like that, right? So um, those are things that are very important, right? Because 3 seconds of courage outweighs a lifetime of fear, right? And like I say, I don't know if it was fearful or nervous, but like I say, I sat here, I did this, you know what I mean? And it was good and very therapeutic, right?
Yeah.
Because not only because I said it, it's not only actual now, it becomes factual. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So these platforms that you provide for your listeners, man, and please, if you're tuning in for the first time, please subscribe. Okay, please subscribe. Um, and I'm gonna make sure that when I share this platform with people, that I'm gonna let
Yeah.
them know what it's all about and to subscribe, because this right here is a vehicle for, my goodness, man, for what you do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And your listeners know what it is that you do. And for those that don't know, stay tuned. Stay tuned, man.
Yeah.
This guy's amazing, and man, and I support him. And like when he asked me to do this, I couldn't say no. You know what I mean? And once again, you know what I mean? This is how we get down. This is
Yeah.
how we get down. Yeah. But
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
I
Jojo,
appreciate
yeah.
you. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
an hour and 30 minutes in, I told you it'll fly
Wait,
by
right
real
on.
quick, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Chris. So
Yeah.
real quick though, what you have any I mean, we talked about the Tracy
Uh-huh.
Bracy thing, but anything else coming
Yeah,
up?
yeah. So for Volunteers of America, we offer free training, right? Free training where it's right now it's a trauma informed care, I believe. And it's on the well, listen, I'm gonna do it like this. If you get in contact with Jojo can give you my number and I will email you all the information here on out. But it's for this Thursday. This Thursday's date, the what, the 12th? No,
No,
what?
no, no.
No,
This
the ninth.
Thursday is probably like the ninth.
The ninth, right? It'll be at the ninth at 90 over there, 92nd and Broadway, right? But it's free training, and if you're in the industry and you need CEUs will be provided, right? Our trainers are good friends of ours, right? Dr. Ritchie, his wife Sandri, and Ellen Johnson also will be touching base in those trainings, right? So that's what we have coming up. And if you tap into my Facebook or Instagram at ChicanoPower.rehab, I'm going to be providing a plethora of resources, trainings, groups, anything that you need. If you tap in, I'm going to point you in the right direction. Okay. So with that, Jojo, I have nothing else. But one more thing is, yeah, I do have one more thing. See, we probably need another half hour. No, okay. One more thing, Jojo, is the platform that I got. It's called ChicanoPower.rehab, right? One of these platforms is this platform that I have. It's going to be to provide not only the formerly incarcerated, but to the families of those who are still incarcerated, right? Making their exit plan, getting some resources, getting some counseling, you know, whatever it is, job opportunities. You know what I mean? If you reach out to me, I'm going to assist you. And if I can assist you, I'm going to give you a warm hand out to somebody who will be able to assist you. But you have to start somewhere, right? And I'm sure, you know, there's a lot of, you got maybe your nephew or your primo or your tios on the couch right now, right? Listen, talk to him about getting in touch with me so we could get him off the couch and into his own place and independent living, right? And to get his life together, and go over some issues that need to be addressed. You know what I mean? Because I once was on a couch as well. You know what I mean? And like I said, in the backyard, in the Rambler on blocks where the dog just had a litter, man. And I knew I didn't want to be there. So if you know somebody like that, reach out and we'll get them out of that situation.
That's awesome,
Mhm.
man. Did you flip it? Yeah, man. Chris, man, I do appreciate you, man, sharing, you know, this hope, man. It's inspiring story, you know, of overcoming. And, you know, I'm blown away by it because I've been a witness to, you know, some of it, man. But
Mhm.
you're for reals, when you were battling with cancer, bro, man, me and my wife, we were in prayer, bro. You know what I mean? Because as you know, I lost my mother and father to cancer. You know, I lost a lot of family to cancer. And I was just praying, like, Lord, please, you know. And then when I saw you during that time,
Yeah.
and let me tell you, you know, some people when they're battling, you know, they just shut down, stay away from everybody. You know, this brother was still working behind the scenes, trying to make things happen. And I remember we had lost was it Rick or who was it in
Rick.
2000? Yeah, and this brother was still in the process of printing out memorial shirts for him and stuff. And I seen you at that time,
Yeah.
and you were still just going through the treatments, and you were looking real weak. You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Oh,
didn't have
yeah.
no hair,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, brother, keep fighting. And
Yeah.
man, that spunk in you was like, hey, I'm gonna do it. You know,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
I'm proud. I'm very proud. And man, Sonia, I
Thank
can't
you.
thank you enough for watching over
Yeah.
my brother, man. You're that
Yeah.
angel, you know, slipping that
Oh, yeah.
that you know, slipping that good stuff into the coffee, you
What
know,
I told
because
the doctor, no, I haven't, but yes, you have.
yes,
No,
you
I
are.
haven't. Yes, you have.
Hey, you
Yeah,
do what
you
you gotta
do.
do to
Yeah,
make it
yeah, yeah,
happen with
yeah,
us
yeah.
hard heads, right?
But
My wife's the
yeah,
same
I
way.
already know, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because behind every good man, there's
good.
a
Yes,
great woman. You know what I mean?
yes,
And I know you have one, and I'm blessed to say that I do have one. You know, there's two things for sure, right? Is that I'll never let her down, and I know that she'll never let me down because in the beginning of this relationship, we agreed that we are going to have a healthy relationship, right?
that's right.
Because of our families, our kids, and stuff, and she's shown me nothing but support, and I never have to like to say what we talked about, ever have to worry about that not being, you know,
Yeah,
happening. So once again, you know, these things don't happen for everybody, but I'm glad they happened to me, and I know they happened to you. When you find someone, your counterpoint, man,
yeah,
it's awesome. It's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I love you, Sonia.
That's right. So, hey, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe, hit the notification, hit the likes, all of that stuff. Leave us a comment. We love to conversate with you. Yeah, for sure. You know, you put something down there, we're going to get back at you. That's just the way we are. And you know, as my brother mentioned, man, don't ever think that your issue or your circumstances is beyond help, okay? Because it's not, whatever it may be. And like I said, maybe we might not have the answer, but you know what? Just give us some time and we're going to find it for you. You know what I mean? And if we get started on it, we're going to finish it. We're going to definitely follow up and get back to you because that's in our DNA today, you know. But like he said, a closed mouth ain't going to get fed. You know, you gotta reach out and you gotta put it out there. You know, and I know sometimes there's pride involved in wanting outside help and assistance. You know, you're afraid somebody's going to look at you a certain way. You know what? Forget all that. You know, when it comes down to it, you need to do what you need to do, man, to help you and your family and you know whoever else you might want to be helping. So definitely, you know, don't forget to check out his social media on Instagram. Is it all the way across the
Facebook,
board?
yeah,
Facebook and
uh-huh,
TikTok,
and
right?
TikTok,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
so check him out. I mean, he's always putting some good stuff out there. Some good. If you need an early word, because this brother, he goes live like at 5 o'clock. I get the notification. I'm like, because remember, he works graveyards on his way home. He's still, you know what I mean? He's just he's getting ready to go down for a little bit, but he wants you to go strong as you start your day. So be sure to check him out, check him out. And like you said, there's always a lot of different resources that he's putting out there, so definitely check that out. Hey, I just wanted to remind you guys, I don't know if I said it last week, but right now I've been getting booked for a lot of speaking engagements for you guys that are involved in residential programs, outpatient, sober livings. If you would love for me to come out there and just give a word of encouragement to your men, your women, your youth, hey, hit me up and we'll make it happen. For you that are in the universities, I also go to universities. I've been hitting a lot of them around here. Unfortunately, I haven't even been to no high schools. Been to a couple continuation schools, but you that are a part of administration or something, you feel that my story could be a positive influence on the kids there, hit me up. We'll make that happen. For you guys that are pastors and ministers, hey, I preach the word as well. I am an ordained minister, ready to deliver a message, just gospel filled. So you could put me in there as well. So, man, I'm just all over the place.
Send them in, Coach. Yeah. One thing, Jojo, you did come to Barrio Actions when we had that youth summit, right?
Oh yeah.
You were invited there, right? And the response that we got from the adults to the parents, right? Still having interaction with them, because you know what I mean. And I had 3 of your books, right? I was able to get them to these young youth, right? Who are, hey, Chris, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And which is a good thing, but your presence alone said a lot. So like when you said about schools, high schools, please, yes, if you have an opportunity to ask Jojo to go, please ask him, because once again, the impact that he does have, you can't teach that during recess. It's got to come from a thing, right?
Amen.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So we're going to go ahead and call it quits. We got one caller, man. You owe a book. You owe a book, Marlise. Marlise got a book. She said a pizza too, bro. You said a pizza, bro.
That's a man.
Got to drop it off 22nd Street. But yeah, man, thank all you guys for tuning in, man. Stay tuned. We have a double hit.
Vince Marbles.
You got someone else real quick. Hold on. Let's take this. Hey, what's up, my brother?
Hello.
How you doing, Pastor Vince?
What's going on, Brother Jojo?
Just right here, live, brother. You live.
Yes, sir. I was listening to Brother Chris, man. Tell him the Lord bless him, man. The Lord bless him. For where God brings guys like us, he takes the foolishness of this world, and how God can set us in places, man, and use us, man. It shames the devil. And you tell Brother Chris, just keep on doing what he's doing, man.
He could hear you.
Well, listen, man. Thank you. You were on the show, right?
Evangelist.
Yeah, and man, your message right there was powerful. You know what I mean? I believe I just shared it the other day onto my social media, because sometimes things that are said, I can't relay them the way the person that said it. So I just shared your interview, man, and the feedback that I got from it. Right? It was like I say, the blessings come in many forms, right? And I felt blessed just to be able to post that for someone to hear your story, my man. So thank you for all you do.
I appreciate that, Brother Chris. And, it's amazing how God can take guys like us. The devil thought he had us bound and beat down, and we felt like we had no hope. I just had spinal surgery the Monday before Thanksgiving, man, and I just, the week after, man, I was up on my feet and back at church, and going through some changes right now, but I'm pushing through it, and day by day getting better and better. But man, just listening to Brother Chris, man, is an encouragement, man. That I've had cancer. My testimony, Jojo, 3 times, man, and I just gotta take and keep my hand in the hand of the man, and let him just keep pulling me through, man. And when it's our time, Brother Chris, we will know it.
That's it.
But we're in a win-win situation.
That's it. Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Well, thank
And
you,
we just
man.
gotta
And
just keep
prayers for comfort during your time right now, man. And yes, definitely keep you in prayers, my man.
right on. And
Yeah.
Jojo, keep doing what you're doing, my brother. So
That's
proud
right.
of you, man.
Yeah. Be
So
sure to
proud
tune
of
in
you,
next
brother.
week. I have
Just,
Ruben and Sister Virginia coming on.
oh, is that right?
Yeah, they're coming on. We're going to do a tag team with
That's
them.
right.
Right on, man. Well, you
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
Elvis praise, tell Elvis Presley. I said, praise the Lord.
Hey, and Evangelist Vince, thank you for every morning's word of encouragement, bro. It's very
Yeah,
uplifting. I've added them every
right on.
day as a part of my devotion as well. So I do appreciate them early messages, bro. Definitely.
Yeah,
You got it, brother. You got
and
it.
so you're the lucky caller number 2, right? So you have a book available, right, to give it to somebody, bless somebody with JoJo's book. So JoJo will
Right
definitely make
on,
sure
man.
you get a book so that you can bless somebody with it and continue this message, this movement. Yep,
Yes, yes. Well, praise the Lord. I appreciate that, man.
you got
I'll
it.
be tomorrow night. I'll be with Chaplain Bob over in Baldwin Park.
Oh,
He
yeah.
has his once a
Bob
month.
McCarthy.
He's got
Yeah.
once a month hardcore support group,
Okay.
and yeah, it's gonna be yard recall, brother.
That's right. Upper and lower compound. Yeah,
That's right. You're gonna tell the guys roll it up and get in the yard.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Mandatory. Yeah.
That's
All
right.
right.
All right.
Well, hey, man. God bless you, brothers, man. I enjoyed watching you guys tonight, man. Encouraging, uplifting, edifying, and just powerful, man. It's just powerful. Just to see how God can take tools that we weren't even in the shed, Chris. We were outside the shed. We were under the shed.
That's right. That's right.
He
Yeah.
knows how to pull us out of that place and wash us up and shine us up
That's it.
and use us as tools in his hand, man.
Yeah.
You never know who you're talking to, man. When I was in the hospital, I was talking to the nurses, the doctors, and to hear you give a shout out to your wife, man. You guys, my wife came with me when I came to do
Yes.
the podcast, and I've got an amazing wife, man.
Yes.
She keeps me on a short leash because she knows the fellow that I am, and she just and sometimes we don't like to hear it from our wives. I say, God, use somebody else to speak to me. Don't use my wife, but because it can be sometimes a hard pill to swallow when your wife's trying to tell you, this is what you need to do. This is where you need to go. And it's like it sometimes it's hard, but we know that that God puts them in our life. They're our helpmate. They're anointed to do that. And I'm so blessed, man, to have the woman that God's put in my life, man, to
Amen.
just keep me on track.
Amen. Yeah,
So, hey.
she's a good one. All right,
Yep.
Brother Vince.
All
Well, you
right,
be
brother.
blessed.
Thank you.
Happy
Yeah.
New Year.
Yes.
We pray blessings and
Likewise.
prosperity in your path this year. You be blessed, my friend.
All right, hey, give Brother Chris my number, man. I like to cut it up with him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
Well,
sure.
he's going to need your address to mail this
Yeah.
book out.
We get JoJo to give it to you, and I'm going to put this out there. You know what I mean? Because the support, because we touched on support a lot, right? So I want to support you as well, and all this, the men you come across, right? If you feel that they need a book from Brother JoJo, man, you just let me know, and I'm going to make sure that guy gets it, man. You know what I mean?
Right on.
And it's up to so your tally is up to 5 books, okay? So you got a tally for 5
It's taken
books,
away,
man.
huh? Right on, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I-
man. Continue to do what you're doing, man. And like I said, giving hope and changing lives, man. Giving hope.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, God bless you, my brothers.
You too.
Happy
You have a
New Year
good
and-
week. You have a good week, my friend.
All right.
We'll talk later.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Take
God
care.
bless.
All right. God bless.
Yeah, he's a
Brother.
powerful man, man.
Yeah,
He's been
I
doing
seen
what he's doing for the Lord for a minute now.
Yeah. See that's that character, right? That I seek. Somebody's character, man. That's man. I want. You know what I mean? I want to be around, man. I want to, be able to do that. Like I say, JoJo, you're one of them. My brother Joey over here, man. I can't, express to the audience right now how much this man was responsible for why I'm sitting here today. You know what I mean? And like I said, that goes to character, right? Character. And Joey, man, I love that guy to death, man. Even though he didn't like my cooking, the way I wrapped everything up in the cell. yeah.
He's not with the funnies. I'm
He's not
telling
with
you.
the funnies. Yeah.
But yeah, Joey, we're going to definitely get you on,
Yes,
man. I don't
yeah.
want to shortchange you and just,
no.
show your face and be like, I'm Joey. And then, okay, that's it. quits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
We're gonna
yeah,
get you now
yeah,
because he has a heck
sure.
of a story
Oh,
too.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he's going to take you through Canada and all
Oh,
kinds of places.
oh, man.
Oh yeah, he's
Oh,
going to take you on
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I know I'm gonna get the popcorn out for that because I was in his journey, right? The last mission he did to
for
go
his
there.
mom. That was a
Ooh,
mission
man, bro.
during COVID too,
He
huh?
told me,
Wasn't it
and
during
then
COVID?
calling that and then he says, well, Lufaland or something, where he's going. Man, it was just this guy. Yes, I'm gonna just shut up and let you tell a
Yeah, we're
story
gonna let him tell it, but
because that
you
was a
definitely have a
mission and that
story.
was done from a son
Mother,
getting
yeah,
his mother. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And that right there, like I say, the character that he showed in there and everything, man. Like I say, yeah,
yeah,
Joey ain't no joke. He ain't with
yeah.
the funnies, boy.
So,
Yeah,
anyways, man, thank you guys once again for all the support, man. Like I said, you could have been doing anything on this Sunday evening. I know a lot of you will watch it later on for you that are going to see it later, but thank you guys for all the support. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe one more time. And hey, I just wanted to remind everybody of this thing as well. Um, Man, I done forgot myself. You know what I mean? No. If you know anybody, any family members out there that, they would like to share their story, and I don't ever want to bring nobody on here to embarrass nobody. I don't want to bring nobody on here to trigger, past events and stuff. Cause I tell them it's not easy. It's not easy sharing your story, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we've been taught not to open somebody up and just send them off without patching them back up. It's not easy, but you know what? There is a releasing when you share. There is a releasing, because a lot of times we sit back and we think that we're by ourselves. We're the only ones going through what we're going through. And I know we kind of make it look easy, but it's not easy sharing, these stories. But if you know somebody that you feel, would like to share some hope, or, they're still in the struggle, you know what I mean? They still got somebody locked up. They still got somebody in addiction. They got, that loved one that's just running amok right now, and this is the platform where we want to offer support. And like I said, don't ever think that your situation, like nobody could help, you know what I mean? Because I believe that, God will provide, the help that's needed. But like, if you don't put it out there, we're never going to know about it and we can't do nothing. So, and if you're shy about it, you know what? We'll still help. You don't got to come on here, just hit us up on our platforms, whichever way you could get a hold of us, and we'll do whatever we can, so that's it. God bless you guys. You guys have a great week and we'll be back next Sunday. And I don't know if you've seen the video I just put out. I mean, if you've seen my video, I was talking about my hardest day in prison, and I was referring to my mother passing in the year 2000. I think I blumbled my words and said 2020. I mean, it's too many zeros, right? But yeah, it was 2000 when she passed. And but that came from somebody asking me that question, what was the hardest day? So why I'm saying this is, if you have any questions for me that you would like me to do a short little video on, I'm more than glad. I'm an open book. So I'm more than happy to share, my experiences. Another question that somebody just recently asked me, was it hard for me to cross over from, the prison politics to Christianity? So, I couldn't answer that in just 2 seconds, you know what I mean? Because there was a lot to the backstory, but I'll probably be coming up with a video for that question. But if you have any questions, just hit me up, and I would love to put a little video out there and just give you a little bit of who I am, and I know a lot of you have already heard my story. It's on all kinds of different platforms all over YouTube. I've spoken in so many different places. You've heard my story, but if you would like, a lot of times I don't go into details on a lot of them things. A lot of them are just hitting and missing, So if you want me to share something, just put them in the comments, DM me, and I'm going to start doing them videos for you guys. All right. Not that my word matters or anything, but
it carries weight.
I would love to share, though, because I believe that my story, I mean, I'm humble, but my story has helped some people get through some situations. So if I could help you by sharing a little bit more, hey, I'll do it. So anyways, you guys have a blessed week, man. God bless you guys. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Got it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jojo. Appreciate you.
Thank you. We're good, Robert? Appreciate it.